Alright y'all, new video for you here today for the VA, doing a flight in the iFly MAX8. Going to do a flight from Atlanta to Omaha, two-part video. We're going to break it up. We're going to do the departure up to 18,000 feet. Part 2 will be from the top of descent into Omaha. We'll do a couple briefings here. Rachel's got us all set up. She's done all her checks. We're up to the point where we're ready to start doing some checklists and get off the gate here. Real quick briefing. In the back side of the checklist, it shows captain and pod flying's briefing items, and all I really want to touch on is the route here. We're going to go off the Pencil 2 departure, 26 left. First fix of MPAS Z1 250 World Pencil Leader Jace. Points beyond 10,000 feet, accelerate to 250 knots. We can verify that in the FMC here. We got 270 MPAS Z1 World Pencil Jace Nashville. 10,000 feet, and just to keep things simple here, the engine failure procedure is going to be straight out 275. Of course, we both know that's not going to happen in the sim, but that's obviously something we need to brief in the real world. So we're up to the point where we can do the before start originating checklist.
Before start originating checklist. Logbook.
Aboard.
Landing gear pins.
3 aboard.
Fire warning and overheat.
Checked.
Start levers.
Cutoff.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal. Normal.
Lights test.
Checked.
FMC.
Programmed.
Briefings.
Complete.
Oxygen masks and quantity.
Checked.
EECs.
On.
Navigation switches.
Normal.
Display switches.
Auto and normal.
Fuel.
17.4 cleared with 17.4. Center pumps off. And she really doesn't like this one for me, so I'm just going to say checked.
Passenger signs.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Hydraulic pumps.
A's off, B's on.
Pressurization.
Set auto.
Flight instruments.
3009 set.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Takeoff warning horn.
Checked.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
TARA.
Aileron and rudder trim.
Centered.
OFP fit for duty.
Accepted and signed.
Before start originating checklist complete.
I'll tell you one thing I don't like about this aircraft too. Just leave this transponder here in on at all times. The auto position, I'm not sure when it turns the mode C on and off, but for us guys that do VATSIM controlling, after landing with this thing in auto, your data block goes away. So just leave it in on. Before push checklist.
Before push checklist. 0 fuel weight.
140.1 set.
Gross weight.
157.3 cross-checked.
PWB remarks.
Reviewed.
N1s.
52/28 reduced set.
Runway.
26 left set.
Flaps.
PWB 5, CDU 5.
V speeds.
144, 146, 149 set.
Stab trim.
5.6 set.
Min cleanup altitude.
2026 set.
Flight deck door.
Lights out.
Before push checklist complete.
Alright, let's get this thing off the gate. Try to keep things moving along as fast as possible here. Pops the brakes for you. He's already ready to go.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we could have your attention for just a moment, we'd like to point out the safety
Pushback
features
procedure.
of our Boeing 737 MAX8. A safety information card is in the seat back or literature
Pushback
pocket
procedure.
in front of you.
Check.
To fasten your seatbelt, slide the flat end into the buckle.
And I should have done that a little sooner. Start number 2.
Lift up on
Start
the
number
buckle.
2.
Position your seatbelt tight and low across your head.
And we're going to watch her
during
do
any
our
time
engine
you are
start
seated.
today, and hopefully
There are
our
8 emergency exits,
pushback crew does a
forward
nice
exit
job
doors,
here. They'll
4
push us into
overlaying
the
window
terminal
exits,
behind
and
us.
2 exit doors in the back. Signs overhead and lights on the floor lead to exits. If an evacuation is necessary, follow flight attendant commands.
And you're going to see that motoring indication, of course. Remember with the MAX, you want to make sure that motoring indication goes away before you bring the start lever to idle.
Ceiling compartment and 2 life rafts are located in the ceiling compartments at mid-cabin. In the event of a water evacuation, use the life vest under your seat. Remove the vest only if told to do so. Pull the red strap to open the container and remove the
Looks
pouch.
like our pushback crew
Remove
did
the vest
stop
from
us.
the
I was just
pouch
watching the
and shown on
ground speed
safety
there.
information card. Place the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, buckle it in the front, and pull to tighten.
Light off.
Once outside, pull down on the red tab to inflate the vest. To to manually inflate, blow into the tube at your shoulder. Your vest has a light that turns on automatically in the water. Please refer to the safety information card for use of a life vest on an infant. Flight attendants will distribute additional vests if
I think
needed.
Ryan's still working
We are
through some
coming
of the
by to
issues with
check
the
that
engine
your
start. So
seatbelt is
far, looks like
fastened.
it's doing
Your
pretty
seat
good
back and
here.
tray table are in a full upright and locked position, and your
A couple
carry-on
things that we've
items are
noticed with the
completely
Max
under
here.
the
Make sure
seat,
you
in
put
front of
cost
you,
index
or
of
in an
30.
overhead bin,
Currently, he's
leaving
working
the
through an
area
issue with the
when the
window
seat
heat
clears.
test. That shouldn't be
Smoking is
being
not allowed on
done.
board, including the lavatories.
He's going to
The
get that
use and
taken
charging
care
of
of.
electronic
And then
cigarettes
in
is
our engine
prohibited.
start here, she's also
Federal
turned
law
that number one
prohibits
engine
tampering
bleed
with,
off and doesn't need to do
disabling,
that. He's
or
aware of that as
destroying
well.
any smoke detector in an
That was
aircraft
pretty good.
lavatory. It is also prohibited to consume alcohol that you
Presumably
have
she's
brought
up
with
here
you on
doing
a
her thing
flight.
here with her
Federal
isolate,
aviation
ventilate.
regulations require
She's got her
passenger
start switch and
compliance with the
continuous.
lighted
Looks good.
passenger information
Start
sign,
number one.
posted placards,
Start number
and
one.
crew member instructions,
Our ground
including
crew is
information
gone.
on
That's
seatbelts
good. We've
and
got our
smoking.
brakes set.
As needed, 4 oxygen masks will drop from a compartment overhead. To activate the flow of oxygen, pull down on the mask until the plastic tubing is fully
I mostly just
extended.
wanted to focus
Place
on this
the
engine
mask
start
over your
here because I
nose
hadn't
and
used
mouth
her a
and
lot
breathe
for the engine
normally.
starts with
Secure
LC5.
the
I'd just
mask
been doing
with
it
the
myself
elastic
because of
strap.
the issues he had
Although
said with her.
oxygen will be flowing, the plastic bag may not inflate.
And I think the
Continue
first
wearing the
number
mask
one here,
until otherwise
the second
notified
engine,
by
the
a
number
crew
one, I
member.
think is
If
got
you
a
are
few more
traveling with
errors
children
in it
or
right
anyone
now.
needing special assistance, put it on your mask first.
There, she's finally
Please
got some
remove
oil
any
pressure.
face coverings before donning an oxygen mask. We are here for your comfort and safety. Please report any unwelcome behavior to a flight attendant. Thank you for your
Light off.
attention. Now sit
Perfect.
back, relax, and enjoy your 2 hours and 25 minutes flight to Omaha.
And of course, for rollback, you're looking
Welcome
for that
aboard.
red tick to go away on the EGT. At that point, you're going to start your clock to make sure you get that warm-up time. 3 minutes before takeoff thrust, 5 minutes first flight of the day. Got a little gas in that center tank, 440 pounds, not enough for the center tanks to be on during on the ground. We'll try to get that out of there in the air. Hopefully we'll remember to actually do that.
Roll back.
Beautiful. And she's got her clock going. Wonderful. After start procedure.
Check. Standing by flaps.
Always fun to watch that. Flaps 5.
Flaps 5.
Control check.
Control check.
And of course we can actually do that ourselves. Before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Electrical.
Generators on.
Probe heat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Flight controls.
Free.
Flight deck windows.
Closed and locked.
Flaps.
CDU 5 indicates 5. Green light.
Before taxi checklist. Complete.
Excellent. Get ourselves set up where we want. Ready to taxi. Clear left.
Clear right.
And we'll pop the brake now on the Max. You really don't need any power to taxi. It'll start going on its own. Now I'm not quite sure if this is really going to want to do it, so we'll give it a little juice. Of course, differential power can really help you too. Push it up a little higher on the right side. Somewhere around 20 to 25 knots. Ground speed on the taxi is about as fast as you should really be going. Once you hit about 25, it starts to feel kind of fast. So there's a good chance there, just with idle power, we'll probably find that pretty easily. So we'll taxi up to spot 3 north here. This is, of course, in Atlanta would be normally ramp controlled. I don't have anybody on as far as ATC or anything. I'm not even on the network, just so I can focus on talking to you guys and not worried about all of that. On the network of ATSM anyway, I know the Atlanta guys, they'll usually just have you taxi out to this spot here, 3 North in this case, and call for taxi there. And they just essentially they just treat the ramp as if it's uncontrolled. I'm sure they have ramp control on during events, however. While I make this turn, I do want to say special thanks to Ryan and Braden there at the VA and the Thrustmaster guys. Apparently I made enough videos for these guys that they felt I had earned myself a Thrustmaster TPR pedal and Thrustmaster Boeing yoke. So I just want to say thank you to those guys if they're watching, or anybody from the Thrustmaster team is watching. I just want to say thank you. These things are amazing. Now this is only my second flight with the yoke and throttle, so I'm still kind of getting used to the feel of that, but the TPR pedals, the rudder pedals, are just about the coolest thing I think I've ever had. They feel extremely realistic. You saw that turn that I just made there. I was never able to taxi this aircraft on the ground like I am now with these pedals, so I just really appreciate it. Just want to say thank you. Just a quick shout out and a thank you for sending that stuff over. It was really great. They are amazing. So there we're at about 28 knots. A little fast. Obviously it's a sim, but yeah, like I said, in the real world, this starts to feel pretty fast when you start exceeding about 25 knots. Especially taking a turn. So we'll get ourselves all the way down to 26 left here. We're pretty much ready to go. And while we're on this straight stretch of pavement here, we'll go ahead and get ourselves ready for our before takeoff checklist. We'll do a quick throttle burst, make sure we don't get that takeoff warning horn. Reach up here, hit our attendant call switch, listen for their call. We're going to verify on that VNAV, and our auto throttles are
Ladies
armed.
and gentlemen, we've been cleared for departure.
We got our
Enjoy
min
your
takeoff
flight.
fuel. Double check that from the release. Dispatch release says min takeoff is 17.0. We're showing still about, not a heck of a lot more than that, 17.1, 160 to be exact. Before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist. Min takeoff fuel.
Verified.
Departure plan.
Not required.
Attendant notification.
Complete.
Electrical.
Generators on.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Packs.
Auto.
Bleed.
Engines on. APU off.
Start switches.
Left continuous. Left continuous.
APU.
Off.
Flaps.
CDU 5 indicates 5, green light.
Start levers.
Idle.
Recall.
And Ryan told me that she can't do the recall, and she's not sure if she'll ever be able to, so just go ahead and do that one yourself. Checked.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Alright, we got that all taken care of. And we'll say we are then cleared for takeoff. Lights on.
Lights on.
Get my lights on here. And we'll say final is clear. Runway 26 left is verified. And also clear left. Clear left.
Clear right.
And we'll get the throttles run up here to about 40%. I think my one engine was stuck up a little bit there. Maybe that's why I was going so fast. I didn't notice that. We'll hit toga, run them forward. Set takeoff thrust.
Check.
V1,
Landing gear up.
Positive rate. Landing gear up.
Set speed, flaps 1, climb thrust.
Set speed, flaps 1, climb thrust.
Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Yoke flies awfully nice. Get her trimmed up, get the autopilot on here. And once I get to the up bug here. And she's got everything cleaned up, clean jet. We'll turn the taxi light off. And as it says in the SID there, they want us to go fast, so we'll accelerate to 250. Close the window. Now remember, if you had a climb 2 here, for instance, in your N1 limit page here, climb 1 or climb 2, you would not delete that in the max, just leave that as it is. And neglected to mention, but also that warm-up time, I'm sure that we had well over 3 minutes, if not 5 minutes entirely. Now, of course, a good FO would be over there telling you that you've got that time. I actually asked Ryan if he might be able to incorporate that. Just have her make a call that says 3 minutes. I think that would be really fantastic. Obviously, it's something that's not just going to be in the, it might only be in the back of your mind, something easily overlooked more than likely. Nine for 10. Go ahead and let it level off.
Feet.
A little bit of an overshoot. That's okay. Like I said, I think the VNAV in this aircraft is, they're still working out the kinks. We'll go ahead and further climb up to our altitude. Cruise altitude of 38,000 feet. I'm going to pop the button so we can get going here. Climb checklist.
Climb checklist. Pressurization.
Checked.
Start switches.
Off.
APU.
Off.
Climb checklist complete.
Just trying to watch this thing like a hawk because it looks like it's going to try to, well, I guess we're at or above 10,000 feet. It was fine, but.
Ladies and gentlemen, use of all portable electronic devices is now permitted in airplane mode with cellular functions turned off. In a few moments, we will be coming through to take
Just
your
don't want to get a
order.
health report.
We will be serving complimentary soft drinks, juice, and coffee. Beer, wine, and liquor are available for purchase or with a valid drink coupon. There is a beverage menu in your seat back pocket, or you may go to the Southwest beverage menu on the in-flight entertainment portal southwestwifi.com, where these options are displayed.
Now our climb speed there is
Please be mindful of the
292.
flight
Of course, if you want to
attendants
change that, you can go to VNAV, just change it here. We'll just round it up. How about 300 knots?
We have lavatories in the
Execute.
front
Now, of
and
course,
back of
because
the
I
aircraft.
changed that
The
and
sign on the
292
ceiling
was the
indicates
econ
where the
speed.
lavatories are.
That's why now I have an
Please
econ
do not
button.
form a line at the forward lavatory. Your safety will always be our #1 priority, so please don't hesitate to let us know if you have other needs we can take care of.
And as I said, we do have that 400 pounds in the center tank there. Let's see if we can't get that out of there. And it's going to go fast, so we're going to keep an eye on it here. everything's looking good. 38,000 feet it did. I was just wondering about that. Our econ cruise optimal's 37, max is 3888. That's why we're starting to get the messages there. We'll just stay at 36,000 feet. Modify our econ cruise right there. And right there in the pressurization, we'll stick with that. Oftentimes too at the higher altitudes, I usually just set the bank limiter to about 15, maybe 20 degrees. That way if you do go into heading mode at high altitudes, you'll keep it down to only 15 or 20 degrees of bank instead of a full 30, which can get kind of uncomfortable at those altitudes. Especially when you're starting to get high and low speed margins there. You don't want to get into those. As the bank increases, that low speed margin will increase, and you definitely don't want to get into that. If you limit the bank, that can help out with that. And because we did that, we'll also set it here. There's obviously no reason to be going all the way to 38 when we told it that we wanted to cruise at 36 in VNAV. And there's 18,000 feet standard set. And we need to tell her that as well. 18,000 feet standard set.
Check.
And that pretty much is a wrap all the way up to cruise altitude. There's not too much else to say. You might notice a few other things we've discussed previously, like our landing gear lever no longer has an off position. So once she brings the gear up, we're just going to leave it there. We'll cover more stuff in the descent. We'll talk a little bit about the FMC, the HGS through the MCDU here. Probably also our vertical situation display here on the ND. We'll talk about that more in the descent. Of course, our center tank pump is almost dry, or our center tank's almost dry now, so center tank pumps are off. And we'll talk to you again in part 2 in the descent.